Es agosto del 2002. 7 años después de la implosión de la banda más peligrosa del mundo, el recluso Axl Rose finalmente resurge con Guns N' Roses en los Video Music Awards de MTV. El nombre de la banda sonaba conocido, pero los rostros no.
A lot of people think it's almost sacrilege, you know, to do it that way, but he doesn't give a
La banda de mercenarios contratados por Axl ni se parecía a los rockeros fugitivos que enfurecieron a los padres e hipnotizaron a los fans en los 80. Con su sonido amenazador alimentado por vidas de mucha decadencia y peligro.
Me and Duff were drinking at least a half gallon of vodka or Jack Daniels a day, just trying to sort of keep ourselves, you know, like on an even keel.
They lived it, and that's why, you know, they were one notch above everybody else. They were the real deal.
Pero Guns finalmente se ahogaría en sus propios excesos. Menos de una década después de impactar al mundo con su debut seminal Appetite for Destruction, las drogas, el alcohol y los egos incontrolables desgarraron a la banda.
Everything was falling apart. Everything was wrong that was going on there. I mean, it was trouble after trouble after trouble, you know, it didn't stop.
You didn't know from 1 minute if it was going to end because of a drug overdose, because of a riot, because of it just imploding. But at the same time, you didn't know if that same day you were going to see the greatest musical performance of all time.
La ruta rebelde de Guns N' Roses fue trazada en las calles de Hollywood en 1982. Cuando dos desadaptados locales llamados Steven Adler y Saul Hudson, alias Slash, empezaron a amplificar sus sueños de hard rock.
Steven started playing drums and I started playing guitar, and we started a band. And that's where Guns starts for me.
A fines de 1984, los músicos en ciernes fueron a Los Ángeles a la tocada de una banda llamada Hollywood Rose. Los principales del grupo eran Jeffrey Isabel y Billy Bailey, dos chicos transportados de Indiana que se habían bautizado como Izzy Stradlin y W. Axl Rose. Para Slash y Steven, la actuación hipnótica de Axl fue poco menos que mágica.
After the show, I introduced Axl to Slash, and who knew that that was like history in the making, but that was the first time Slash met Axl.
I said to Slash, if we get that singer and that guitar player, we're gonna have a kick-ass band.
Para marzo de 1985, Steven y Slash habían unido fuerzas con Axl Rose e Izzy Stradlin. Ese mismo mes, el bajista Michael Dub McKeegan completó el grupo y se hicieron llamar Guns N' Roses.
Through so many different people, and this ended up being the people that we most believed in. We're like a family. We believe in each other.
We were a gang. That's how we thought of ourselves. We play rock and roll music to kick your ass.
Los Guns estaban finalmente listos para disparar. Su química explosiva sobre el escenario empezó a ofrecer una peligrosa alternativa a grupos de heavy metal como Cinderella y Poison.
All these other bands, you know, they had all these spandex and makeup and crap. And we did. We just went out there and played rock and roll.
They looked like outlaws, that was number one. And the music was, to me, like nothing I had ever heard.
We just didn't really give a shit about anything else going on around us. We just had this edge, this sort of unpredictable, scary thing about what it was that we did, and that there was no holds barred.
Desde el inicio, la sed de éxito de Guns solo se equiparaba con su apetito por los excesos.
Quite often, it was a 24-hour day party. Tupperwares full of cocaine. Literally Tupperwares. Everybody was completely strung out and using ecstasy.
Nobody drank as much as Slash, and nobody passed out as much as Slash.
We were just following in the footsteps of all the guys that we grew up, you know, were our heroes growing up. And then we just took it that one step further.
Virtualmente sin hogar y migrando constantemente de un paupérrimo sitio a otro, Guns tenía solo dos objetivos en mente: hacer fiestas y tocar rock and roll.
These guys were living off of biscuits and gravy from Denny's, you know, from friends.
There was usually at least a few bodies on the floor that you had to step up when you walked in. There was always a song written on a pizza box and empty liquor bottles everywhere.
We were always scrounging to find a place to practice or find a place to crash. And back in those days, the best people to know were strippers because they were the ones that were empathetic, you know, to your needs.
Una vez sobre el escenario, la banda tocaba música impactante y Axl añadía sus letras amenazantes. Producto de un hogar abusivo, Rose era un cantante explosivo que usaba sus letras para combatir a sus demonios.
As volatile as he is, all the things that you might find complicated or difficult about Axl is what fuels him to be such an amazing performer and such an amazing songwriter.
You know, it's like I have to balance out, you know, when can I destroy everything around me to when I have to be nice to everybody.
La volatilidad de Axl fue tanto una bendición como una maldición. A principios de 1986, Guns N' Roses era la banda más caliente en Los Ángeles. Pero ninguna disquera se acercaba a ellos.
Nobody wanted to sign us. I mean, even though the people that wanted to sign us, they didn't want to deal with us. Nobody wanted to produce us. Nobody wanted to manage us. And, you know, the club owners were scared of us.
Guns N' Roses era un barril de pólvora que podía explotar en cualquier momento. Pero en la primavera del 86, un ejecutivo de Geffen, Tom Sussout, vio a la banda en un club de Los Ángeles y creyó que su sonido de hard rock valía todos los dolores de cabeza.
I basically went to David Geffen and I said, I just saw the biggest rock and roll band in the world. I basically went to David Geffen and I said, I just saw the biggest rock and roll band in the world. They're going to sell more records than any band except for maybe Led Zeppelin and the Rolling Stones.
Guns N' Roses firmó un contrato con Geffen, pero pocos creían que estuvieran predestinados a redefinir el rock and roll, o siquiera sobrevivir. A continuación, el dulce éxito llega al estilo Guns N' Roses.
There were photo sessions when Slash literally was propped up, so he wouldn't fall down for the photo session.
Cuando Behind the Music continúe. De 1986, Guns N' Roses había navegado por la mayor parte de la jungla del metal en Hollywood y se había metido a la bolsa un contrato de varios discos con el sello Geffen. Pero a la disquera le preocupaba que su explosiva inversión pudiera hacer combustión en cualquier momento.
Well, I was worried about them surviving because you can't tell junkies or drug addicts to stop taking drugs. They probably laughed when I said, guys, I mean, be careful, you know, you're going to be the biggest rock and roll band in the world. You don't need to destroy it with this crap.
You always kind of thought that, you know, there would be like the explosion and it would all be over, or one of them would die, or something would happen.
Oh, yeah. We're the bad boys.
En agosto del 86, Geffen metió a Guns al estudio. Pero la banda jamás permitió que un itinerario rígido limitara su rebelde estilo.
On any given night, terrorizing Hollywood. Every morning we'd have to get up and somehow manage to be at the studio by 12.
They came in many, many times, well hung over.
Pero en medio del caos, Guns N' Roses estaba a punto de escribir parte de la historia musical. Una de las canciones que surgió en esas primeras sesiones fue una entrañable y sensible balada llamada Sweet Child of Mine. Irónicamente fue Slash a quien se le ocurrió la clásica línea inicial de la guitarra como chiste.
We were rehearsing in our guitar center, and then he started playing like a circus kind of thing. You know? And I was all, dude, play that again.
what started out as a joke guitar riff for me turned into a huge anthem for Axl as far as that relationship that he was in at the time. So it was a very heartfelt moment in his life.
La inusualmente afectuosa letra de Axl fue escrita como carta de amor a su novia Erin Everly, con la cual tuvo una tormentosa relación durante 5 años.
When it was good, and when it was bad, it was horrible. There was a lot of turmoil between those two, and that's all I want to say.
Erin was a very nice girl. She was cute as could be. She was just the opposite as Axl. But it also shows a side of Axl, Sweet Child of Mine, that you wouldn't necessarily, when you hear all these nasty things about him.
Pero Sweet Child of Mine era una tierna canción muy rara. En un álbum donde predominaban los himnos inflamables como Welcome to the Jungle. Cuando Appetite for Destruction salió en julio del 87, bombardeó a sus fans con el brutal diario sónico de 5 músicos cuyas vidas pendían de un hilo.
They were living, hand to mouth, and they were just all about the rock and the girls and the drinks, and that's what they sang about. That's what they did. And they lived it.
It's pretty much a storybook of everything that Axl and the band was going through from, say, the beginning of the 80s all the way up until the record was finished.
En agosto del 87, Guns salió de gira mundial para promover el álbum, llevando su sempiterna fiesta hollywoodense a extremos impensables por todo el planeta.
They're just a bunch of crazy kids that have just been given the key to every city in the world, basically.
There were photo sessions when Slash literally was propped up, the head up and somebody behind him, to hold him up so he wouldn't fall down for the photo session.
Slash is a very dedicated player. He would go and throw up behind the amps, come back out and keep playing. He'd smoke on stage, and his cigarette would drop down in between his pants and his stomach. And I'm sitting there watching him going, dude, you're burning up. And he's just doing this solo in pain.
Los escándalos de Guns y sus letras gráficas estaban enfureciendo a los padres, pero deleitaban a los fans. En julio del 88, Appetite for Destruction llegó al primer lugar en las listas.
It was the right band at the right time with the right message, and it just happened to hit the youth of America in a certain way that everybody related to it, which is great.
Pero cuando la banda alcanzó alturas de multiplatino, la tragedia los hizo aterrizar forzosamente. El 20 de agosto del 88, durante la tocada de Guns en el festival Monstruos del Rock en Donington, Inglaterra, 2 fans murieron aplastados por un público frenético.